Live from the National News Studio. Welcome to the news. My name is Clifford Richards.
And I'm Kasari Balachandra Adhikari. We start off with a look at your headlines for tonight. "22 persons killed in the most gruesome bus accident in recent history. The President expresses profound condolences and instructs to pay compensation of ₹1 million each for every death. The Vesak festival dawns in few hours. A special traffic plan in the Colombo-Vesak zone. President Trump welcomes India and Pakistan agreeing for a ceasefire. A 5-year plan for development of northern hospitals. President Putin invites Ukraine for a ceasefire. India wins the triangular tournament. Asian Youth Boxing Tournament commences in Sri Lanka tomorrow. A live telecast from ChannelEye. We move on to those and other stories in detail now. The number of deaths in the bus accident which occurred in early morning today in Garandial, Ramboda in Kotmale, when a bus carrying passengers skidded off the road and fell into a precipice, has gone up to 22.
Well, the accident occurred around 4:30 a.m. and another 35 persons were wounded. President Anukumar Disanayaka, focusing on this, has instructed to pay a compensation of ₹1 million each. That's from the President's fund, and that's for each person who had died in this accident. The SLTB bus plying from Khattargama to Kurunegala had met with this tragic, unexpected accident. And during the time of the accident, there have been more than 70 passengers, including small children, with most of them receiving serious injuries. Officials and security agencies, along with the residents of the area, had toiled tirelessly in order to rescue the passengers as well as those who were trapped under the wreckage. According to police, more than 40 passengers, including the driver of the bus, have been admitted to the Kotmale Regional Hospital, some to the Nuwara and Gampala base hospitals. Kotmale police investigating the incident stated that it is suspected that a sudden technical failure may have been the cause for the accident. Among the dead, 16 males and 6 females. Deputy Minister of Transport and Highways Prasanna Kumar Gunasena says that the dead bodies have been kept at several hospitals and action will be taken to hand over them to the relatives as soon as possible. A patient is under treatment in the ICU at Gampala who received head injuries in the accident and is also in a serious condition. The number of patients in a critical condition is reported to be less, but those who received fractures is reported to be fairly high. 4 patients out of them have been transferred to the Peradine Teaching Hospital, while 3 injured children have been transferred to the Sirimau Bandaranayake Children's Hospital. Majority of other patients are under treatment at the Gampala and Nuwara hospitals. A small girl child who was critically injured in the accident has been transferred to the Peradine Teaching Hospital. According to hospital sources, the condition of the child who is receiving treatment in the ICU is extremely critical. The mother of the child, who was also critically wounded in the accident, was admitted to the Nuwara base hospital, where she reportedly succumbed to the injuries in the afternoon today. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka Air Force announced that 2 Bell 412 helicopters have been used for emergency rescue operations in order to provide necessary assistance to the victims of the tragic bus accident under the instructions of the Defence Secretary. Speaker Jagat Vikramaratne, along with Deputy Minister of Transport and other officials, visited the site of the accident in the morning of today for an inspection. The fateful bus has been retrieved in the afternoon today and it was taken to the Kutmale police station for further investigations. President Andrew Kumar Dissanayake, in a message of condolence, has expressed his shock and grief to the relatives of the families who lost their lives in this terrible accident during the wee hours of today. The President, wishing a speedy recovery for those who are critically wounded, stated that instructions have been issued to the security and health sectors to take all necessary action to prepare hospitals for further treatment of the victims. The government is seriously concerned about the road accidents occurring on a daily basis in the country, and according to the President, the government is taking all necessary steps to formulate permanent plans to avoid such accidents in the future. The President added in his message of condolence that a special program has been planned to minimize road accidents considerably and to implement existing laws to improve the attitude of drivers, and also express hope of success in this effort. The President further instructed to pay compensation of 1 million rupees each from the President's fund on behalf of the dead in the Kutmale bus accident to their relatives. In addition, Sri Lanka Transport Board and the Insurance Fund have also taken steps to provide compensation to the families of the victims. Meanwhile, another bus accident occurred last night at Valimada Dibra area. One passenger has died and another 20 persons reported to have been wounded in this accident. The bus had skidded off the road and falling down about 50 feet at 7:50 approximately in the evening, and the wounded have been treated at the Mirihawat Provincial Hospital and were later transferred to the Valimada Base Hospital for further treatment. 3 wounded persons, including a girl child in a critical condition, have been transferred to the Badula General Hospital. The dead person have been identified as a 43-year-old male. 3 persons were injured and admitted to the Wattavalla Provincial Hospital when a motor vehicle skidded off the road and fell into a precipice at the Carolina Estate area in Wattavalla on the Hatton-Colombo Main Road early morning today. The victims have been from the same family and they included the parents, daughter and her 2 children. The 2 children have not been injured in the accident and all of them have been reportedly visiting Nuwara from Vallampitiya on a tour. When the accident took place, the daughter mentioned earlier was driving the vehicle and when it fell into the precipice, and when she allowed another bus to overtake the vehicle, she had lost control of the vehicle, according to the police. Well, just a few more hours left for the enchanting Vesak festival, and the Vesak ceremonies have been organized island-wide.
Absolutely, commemorating the virtues of the Triple Gem, Vesak ceremonies have been organized island-wide, and all events give prominence to Pratipatti and Amisa Puja. Measures are underway to conducting grand scale the Bautaloka Vesak Zone in Colombo and the Puja Vesak Zone organised by the Kadwala Municipal Council. The National Television is the media sponsor of both events. All Ceylon Buddhist Congress and the Presidential Secretariat jointly organised the Bautaloka Vesak Zone, which is scheduled to commence at 6 p.m. tomorrow. A program to pay homage to the sacred relics is scheduled to be conducted at the premises of the All Ceylon Buddhist Congress. In addition, a rice dansala will be conducted. There will be many colourful Vesak events near the PMICH. Devotional song concerts, Vesak lantern displays, pandals and dansel will add colour and glamour to the Puja Vesak Zone organised by the Kadwala Municipal Council. The National Television will telecast a live program on the Puja Vesak Zone starting from 7 p.m. tomorrow. A pandal will be exhibited for the 64th occasion on the Marangada in Akurasa. A female student is responsible for the provision of lights in the pandal.
Looking very colourful indeed. Meanwhile, the police headquarters has taken steps to implement a special traffic plan in the Colombo city parallel to the Vesak celebrations, focusing on Vesak zones. The Vesak zone, organized by the All Ceylon Buddhist Federation, will be held until the 14th of this month from tomorrow. It commences from the Prison Junction, Baseline Road, Borella, and includes Borella Junctions via Baseline Road, DS Junction, Cemetery Roundabout, Baudalo Kumawata and Bambalipiti Junction. There won't be a closure of roads due to this, and traffic will flow in one direction from 7 p.m. The Buddha Rashmi Vesak zone, organized by the Gangarama Vihare Hunupitiya, Colombo, and the Prime Minister's office, will be held until the 16th of this month from tomorrow. This Vesak zone includes a section from Jinnaratna Mawata, Navam Mawata and Perara Mawata, and starting from Kompanjavidya Police Roundabout to Kumaran Ratnam Mawata and Kompanjavidya Junction, Sir James Paris Mawata, and also Pittala Junction, Flower Road, and up to the Prime Minister's office. The traffic will be in one direction, and temporary closures of roads will also follow from 7 p.m. Another Vesak zone will be in operation. That's from Baybrook Place to Dawson Street, and from there up to Staple Street area, where several roads will be temporarily closed from 7 p.m. And a special traffic plan will be in operation around the Golface Green, since huge crowds are expected to witness the Vesak celebrations, and accordingly one-way traffic will be in operation from tomorrow until the 13th of this month from Colombo Fort, Golface Green area, Colombo Port City up to Kolupite Junction, where traffic will be in one direction only from 7 p.m. According to police, residents of the Vesak zone area will be allowed entrance as per the situation for vehicles for hospital and essential service supplies. During this period, container vehicles loaded with sand and other building materials will not be allowed entry. Flow of traffic on both directions when traffic congestion will become normal, and the police added that this particular security arrangement is meant for the safety and convenience of the devotees. US President Donald Trump has expressed his appreciation to both India and Pakistan, that's for agreeing to a ceasefire.
However, a few hours after the announcement of the agreement, both sides have accused each other on violating the ceasefire. Following the ceasefire agreement between India and Pakistan, explosions and gunfire were reported in several towns within the Indian-administered Kashmir region. Indian Foreign Secretary alleged that Pakistan continued to repeatedly violate the ceasefire. He also mentioned that the Indian military has been instructed to take strong action against ceasefire violations. Meanwhile, responding to the allegations, the Pakistan Foreign Ministry expressed that Pakistan remains committed to upholding the ceasefire agreement and accused India of breaching it. However, the Indian media reports indicate that the situation in Indian-administered Kashmir has now returned to normalcy. The recent escalation between the two nations followed a deadly attack in the Pahalgam area of Indian-administered Kashmir, which targeted a group of tourists and resulted in the deaths of 26 people. In response, the Indian military carried out strikes on alleged terrorist targets in Pakistan. As tensions escalated, the United States intervened diplomatically, leading to the implementation of the India-Pakistan ceasefire agreement. Reports also indicate that more than 30 other countries supported the diplomatic processes related to the agreement.
Meanwhile, President Anukumar Dissanayake says Sri Lanka will extend maximum cooperation. That's for a continuous dialogue between India and Pakistan. The President, in a media communique, has warmly welcomed the recent ceasefire agreement between India and Pakistan, calling it a vital and timely step, and that's towards safeguarding the lives and fostering regional stability. President Dissanayake praised the leadership of both countries for choosing dialogue over confrontation. An immediate ceasefire is not just an urgent need to spare innocent lives on both sides, it is also a necessity for the first step in achieving lasting peace and regional stability. The Sri Lankan president lauded the leaders of India and Pakistan for their statesmanship, noting that their willingness to compromise as a demonstration of wisdom. He expressed that Sri Lanka, as a close neighbor and friend of both nations, stands steady to support continued dialogue. Sri Lanka reaffirms its unwavering support for continued dialogue and expresses its readiness to make whatever contribution necessary to achieve regional peace in our time, the president added.
It has been pointed out that the misplacement of spare parts of trains in the railway department has made it impossible to operate trains in certain instances. This was disclosed at the committee meeting on public accounts yesterday. Railway Department officials responding to a query at the COPA session relating to 2 trains deployed for service on the Rupavahini track said they contained 2 sets. They added that one set was utilized in service and the second set could not be deployed due to pilfering of spare parts. They said, however, the missing set has now been readjusted. They further said that the missing part was found hidden in a yard of the Railway Department. They added that, however, investigations are underway regarding the incident. Anything constructive could not be achieved through the 3-year-long investigation and they were compelled to commence a new investigation. The probe was headed by the officer in charge of the division and the security officials were reported to have refrained from extending information to the investigation team. The Railway Department officials also said that the railway yard under review is located in Dematagoda, where large groups of people are addicted to drugs. Some of these addicts are railway employees. The department has submitted complaints to the CID in this regard. They further said that they were hoping to operate both trains in March of this year but were unable to do so due to delays in procuring the spare parts. Minister of Health and Mass Media Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa has been elected to the post of President of the Sri Lanka-India Parliamentary Friendship Association in the 10th Parliament.
Well, the meeting held in this connection was presided over by Speaker Dr. Jagat Wickramaratne in the Parliament premises recently. The honourable invitee on this occasion was Indian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka Santosh Jha. Parliamentarian Dr. Kavinda Jayawardena was elected as the Secretary of the Association. The newly elected President, Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, said on this occasion that measures will be taken to further strengthen the long-standing relations between Sri Lanka and India. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa was engaged in several observation tours in several hospitals in Mannar district recently. He said on this occasion that all regional hospitals in the northern province, including the districts of Kilinochchi, Mullaitivu, Jaffna, Mannar and Vavuniya, will be developed under a 5-year development plan with the cooperation of the Northern Provincial Council. The objective is to provide a quality and efficient health service to the rural population in the northern province.
Actress Semini Dimalgoda has been taken into custody by Valikada police regarding few incidents of non-payment cases. She was released on bail after being produced before the Chief Magistrate's Court in Colombo today. The police told the court that Semini Dimalgoda is under 7 warrants in connection with the non-payment of employees' provident funds money after running a private security institution and other cases of non-payment of dues. Colombo Magistrates Court issued her 4 warrants, Madra Magistrates Court 4 warrants and another 2 by the Tangol Magistrates Court against her. The attorneys at law appearing on behalf of the suspect informed the court that since their client is an actress, she did not have any valid reason to avoid appearing before the court. It was also informed to the court by them that she had already paid money pertaining to certain court cases. After considering the facts presented by her lawyers, Colombo Additional Magistrate Bandari Langasinghe ordered to release her on a bail of 100,000 rupees each. The suspect has also been ordered to present to the court on the 19th of this month the report regarding the payment of money pertaining to the 4 complaints filed against her.
Well, we have come to know on several instances in the past of incidents where children in their prime youth ending their lives. Well, the act of suicide is the final outcome of an extremely complex process of thinking, and this is an inquiry as to how youngsters fall into such a deplorable condition due to mental depression. Well, according to a definition of the World Health Organization, the period between 10 to 19 years is being identified as a period of adolescence. This is an extremely complex period in human life, and it is an extraordinary period that causes a lifetime transformation due to changes in physical and mental processes. The youth experience in mental torments and desperation during this time. It has also been reported that in the recent past, the feelings among children in the adolescent age to end their lives have increased twofold. According to the Health Ministry, mental depression prevails in around 18% of the teenage youth in the country. Out of this, 9% are tormented by thoughts to commit suicide. The report adds that 22% of the youth live solitary lives without any pleasures. As the WHO points out, the leading cause for suicide is mental depression. It is high time to visualize how the society could help children to free themselves from extreme mental trauma. Dr. N. Kumar Nayak says that one of the factors leading to depression is distancing from parents. Children are being motivated towards exams and cut-off marks. There's no sense of entertainment in their lives. Another reason attributed to this tragic situation is the domestic violence. Under such circumstances, the child gets frightened and tries to hide. This affects the sensitive positions in the brain, the tension in the children lessens, and also they associate with the society. The child connected to the Kotahena incidents was for depression. The media has the responsibility to enlighten the community on social media depression.
And here's more local news items in brief. A serious damage and a loss has been incurred when a container transporting salt from Putlam to Hambantara crashed onto the crash barrier at a certain point at the Southern Expressway. The accident occurred in Durangada yesterday. A suspect has been taken into custody in Polgasovita in connection with shooting and assassinating a person in Panipitia in Hiripitia on the 8th of this month. The raid has been conducted by the officials of the Crime Investigation Department in Nugegoda. The suspect has been identified as a resident of Yakkala. Another suspected person has been taken into custody yesterday along with 507 grams of heroin and 501 grams of ice narcotic in Anuradhapura, according to an information received by the Anuradhapura police. The police said that the market value of the stock of narcotics is around 30 million rupees. A shop in Neluvatta in Haliyalla has been completely gutted in a fire early this morning. Steps were taken to extinguish the fire immediately by the fire brigade of Bandaravilla Municipal Council and Atampitia Police. Manampitia Police has been successful in taking into custody of 13 suspects when they raided a gambling spot conducted since a long time in Sevanapitia in Polonnarva. The suspects were reportedly residents of Hinguragoda, Velikanda, Giritale, Minneria and Aralagangala areas. Police also took into custody 8 motorcycles, a 3-wheeler and a van from their possession. Foreign news on the other side of this break.
You can make a difference. It is your duty to help eradicate dengue. Clean up your environment at least once a week. A message from the Dengue Control Unit of the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back. Moving on to news overseas. Russian President Vladimir Putin proposed direct talks with Ukraine aimed at ending the war today.
The proposal for direct talks with Ukraine came hours after major European powers demanded for an unconditional 30-day ceasefire. Ukrainian President Zelensky has said it was a positive sign that Russia was considering ending the war in Ukraine after Russia offered direct talks this coming Thursday. However, the Ukrainian president has indicated that Kyiv expects Russia to confirm a complete, lasting and credible ceasefire starting May 12th, and Ukraine is ready to meet. Western powers called for a 30-day pause in fighting to begin tomorrow after European leaders spearheaded the coalition of the willing met in Kyiv yesterday.
Welcome back, and we have a variety of sports news items. Firstly, boxing. The Under-22 Asian Youth Boxing Championship will commence tomorrow That's with the participation of more than 400 male and female boxers from 25 countries. An Asian boxing championship is being held in this country after a lapse of 57 years. Sugadas Indoor Stadium in Colombo is now in full operation for the championship, where it will go on till the 23rd of this month, starting from tomorrow. Preliminary round matches will be held from tomorrow until the 15th of this month, whereas quarter-final matches have been scheduled from 16th to the 18th of this month, and on the 20th and 21st of this month, semi-final matches conducted, while the finals will be held on the 22nd and 23rd, and Sri Lanka will be represented by 33 male and female boxers in the championship. Umayanga Mihiran will be the captain of the Sri Lanka male team, while Sachini Fernando is the captain of the female boxing team. Amila Aravind is the chief trainer. ChannelEye of SLRC will bring live telecast of the championship, which commences from tomorrow.
New Zealand under 85 kilogram weight class rugby team has been successful in winning the second match as well against Sri Lanka rugby team at the Colombo Racecourse grounds yesterday. Large crowds have watched the match, and prior to the commencement of the game, New Zealand players have performed their traditional haka. Strong New Zealand team had shown their prowess from the beginning of the match. The team has collected 17 points in the first half, in which Sri Lankan players were able to score only 3 points. In the second half as well, the New Zealand team has added another 15 points. The Sri Lankan team also scored 3 points in the second half, and the match tally was 32-6 in favour of the New Zealand team. The winners have scored their points through 2 goals, 3 tries and a penalty. The Sri Lankan team came in the form of 2 penalties. With this victory, New Zealand team secured the series victory and the championship trophy. The Sri Lankan players have extended their warm wishes to the New Zealand team after the match.
Nothing short of explosive rugby, and from rugby we're moving on to women's cricket. The Indian cricket team became the champions of the women's triangular ODI cricket tournament today when they defeated Sri Lanka women's team by 97 runs in the finals. The match was played at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo. Batting first, the Indian women's team scored 342 for 7 in their 50 overs, which was recorded as the highest total by a women's ODI team in this country. Smriti Mandana scored 116 in reply. The Sri Lanka women's team could score only 245 runs all out, and Captain Chamari Atapattu scored 51, while Sneh Rahana captured 4 wickets for India. Well, that's it on the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs together with Kasuna. This is Clifford wishing you good night.
Good night.